There we go. They're going to give you everything that you need so that you can have access to all of that. They're going to have you set it up in a incognito window, but it's going to look a lot like this. They're going to say, create a new personal calendar, then add a 2-hour event, title that event, and you're just going to go ahead and do exactly what they say. Juliana, question here, can you make a Google Classroom with a normal Gmail account instead of the district account? You can set up a Google Classroom, but I don't know, and it's going to depend on the district permissions. You probably cannot add students from a district into your personal Google Classroom. Most of them have that shut down. So like I could invite my son to my Google Classroom at the ESD, but I'd have to use his personal email. And that you really want to check with the district on what their permissions are that way. Yeah, I have 2 different Google Classrooms. I have my ESD one and I have my my personal one, and I do practice both sides because then I can see the student side and I can see the teacher side. Because if you can do that, great. Because they don't have a little button where you say, look, let me see the student side. So that's a great option. So we're going to walk through this scenario. Before you take the test, you're going to get a choice board that has all of these different scenarios and videos to go with it. So you can practice all of these things before you take the test. And this is not the actual scenario, it's a sample one. So I'm going to go through this. Create a new personal calendar. So I'm going to go to my other account. I'm going to change my avatar here. I'm going to change it to my personal account because I don't want to add a new calendar to the agency account. I'm going to go here. I'm going to click my calendar. And again, I'm going to add a new calendar. Click, create new calendar. Excuse me. When you take the test, they'll tell you what to title it. Get used to copying and pasting it. Google certification, I'm going to create calendar. Now I'm going to go to this Google certification calendar. I'm going to go back. And you'll see that all of those calendars show up. My next thing is add a 2-hour event sometime later this week. So I'm going to go to my calendar. I'm going to add a 2-hour event. It tells me to title it Google certification work. I'm going to copy and paste. Notice it tells me what calendar it's on. It's going to show me all of my calendars here right now, but it's going to tell me what calendar it's on. If I want to change that calendar, I just click on here and I can switch which calendar it appears on. So like this Darcy Jameson might be shared with my kids so they can see everything that's going on. But my Google certification calendar may not be. So pay attention to where that is. I've titled that. I'm going to click save. I'm going to change the color of the event. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to right click and you're going to see all these colors come up. I'm going to color it yellow. I like to color code my events. I'm going to go back to my work email or my work calendar. For those of you that have different budget codes or things that different events, I use color coding on my calendar to help me decide where it's going to show up. So like this next week, all those are different events. Those different colors mean different budget codes. And that's just the way that I like to organize it. But they may ask you to change the color. And the next one says to assign snacks to bring to this meeting, create a reminder prior to the meeting to pick up snacks at the grocery store. I'm going to go back up here, creating reminders, creating reminder, pick up snacks at that 7:30, and I'm going to click save. That gives me a reminder. Reminders are not shown to shared calendars. It's just on your personal calendar. And then the final step to that was to invite Darcy Jameson to that event. I'm going to go here, click edit event. And I'm going to go ahead and, because I am in the Darcy Jameson account, I'm going to add this one and click save. When you take the test, they'll have all of the contacts and everything already preloaded for you. So you won't have to say, oh, who do I need to send it to or whatever. They'll tell you who to send it to. It'll be preloaded in there. They make it as easy as possible. The biggest tip is organizing your time and getting really comfortable with this flipping between tabs, copying and pasting whatever you can. That's what we want to be paying attention to. So with this, if you have a number of calendars, like this calendar here, I don't necessarily want to see all the time. I can click on these three dots. These three dots mean other options. I can hide from this list. I can go to this calendar, settings and sharing. So these are my calendar settings. I can share this calendar. Like this calendar is shared with my kiddos that don't live at home so that they know, hey, this is mom's calendar. I can look at it and they can see if I'm in a meeting or something. So if it's a good time to call. My daughter shares her calendar. So I know my college kids share their calendar. So I know if they're in class. So I know if I'm interrupting something. So those are just some ways I can share with specific people. I can go down here and I could add another person here. This is my assistant, so she can make some changes and she can change some things if I need her to. One thing that when I look at event notifications, when I send out an email for an event and I have 20 to 25 people on this event, I don't necessarily want 20 to 25 emails coming back to me saying, yes, I'm coming to this event. You can turn that off. Go to calendar settings and event notifications, click none, and you won't get those emails. My inbox is filled to the max already. I don't need anything else. So turning those off saves me a ton of extra emails I don't need. I'm going to go to, so questions before I move from calendar. And again, you're going to get kind of a choice board so you can practice these scenarios. And a scenario that you might see might have to do with Gmail. So Gmail, again, you're going to access all of these apps through the Google waffle menu. Go to your Gmail. Practice with the Gmail. Just kind of play around with it. You're not going to hurt anything, I promise. So as that's loading, remember the settings are here in this gear icon. Anytime you see a gear icon, you're going to get into the settings of the application that you're working on. It's going a little slow. If we look at our scenario, it tells me to change the theme. Change themes, I can view all of those. I can pick my theme. Normally it's going to come, there we go. I can change that and click save. And that's going to change what it looks like in the background. My next piece is to add a signature or vacation responder. Back into settings. See all settings. These are all the different options. My signature, if I scroll down, I can change my signature here. I can also put in a vacation responder. So this might be a vacation that I might take later this summer. I'm just going to add my last name there. Remember to hit save. So when you're working with Gmail, part of the settings is going ahead and looking at, I have my unread first. I can look at different defaults. So I can go my default. That's going to put everything in as it comes. I could do important first, which that changes all of these things that have that yellow arrow. Those are going to go first. For me, I like my unread first. See, each of these that I change, it changes how it looks. I could put my starred first or a priority inbox. Play around with how you like to see your emails. I like having my unread right up here at the top, so then I know what I need to get to. And it doesn't mix it all up together. Some people like the default, and for a long time I was there. For me, it's this one, but for using that and deciding how you want to set up your emails, that's super important. One of the things that the color coding of the labels, notice over here, here are my labels. If I click on my three dots, I can change the label color. So that may be pink. So anything that comes in that is going to be pink. DocuSign documents, those are really important. So I want to put a red because I want to really pay attention to those. I have a number of different labels. If you're going to create a new label, three dots, I can mark them all as red. So I'm going to create new. Notice down here, you have all of these options. So I could put in a recording because I have Loom set up. I could attach a file, or I could attach a link. A link could be a web link. It could be a link to a Google Doc or a Google Slides presentation. Or I could just insert it from my drive. So a file is going to be like a PDF that's from your hard drive. A link is going to be a website or a link to a Google document. If you want to insert something directly from your drive, you're going to click the drive button. These icons are going to be the same in every single application. Notice your picture. If I want to put in a picture, it's the same thing that we have in every other icon. So that's what I really like about the Google Suite, is that you start getting used to these icons so that you can see them show up over and over again. This is a new feature. This is the confidential mode. So if I click on this, I can set this expiration. So I can send Luis an email that has confidential information. It'll expire in a week. So I wouldn't necessarily use that a whole bunch, but if, let's say that I don't want them to, I'm going to send them a website or a document that they have access to for a week, I can send that to them, and then they don't have the email anymore. It goes away. They can't forward it, copy it, print, or download the email. So if I was going to use this, I would use it very sparingly. But you can do that same kind of thing with Google Docs and Google Slides. You can limit the sharing of those documents pretty easily when you go to your advanced settings. So now they just added that same thing to Google, to Gmail. So questions on Gmail. I want to make sure that you have time to answer. I have time to answer your questions.
I got a quick question, Darcy.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there's a way to, because as soon as I get an email from Gmail here, there's like the important little triangle or arrow points on there. And what I'm trying to say is there a way to have that turned off so then I get to decide which ones? So then I'm not turning it on and off. I don't know. I don't know if that made any sense.
Yeah.
But on there on
So
the inbox type.
yeah. So if we go to our filters and blocked addresses, you can go there. You can create those. Let's go inbox. Inbox type, importance markers, no markers. So it's not going to do anything. That should make the change for you. It says, and you can say, use my past actions to predict, or don't use those. And so those are, so I'm going to save that and see what it does. Now, all of those things, those little arrows are now gone. Now, if I want to go through and I go to settings and I go to see all settings and I go to filters, I can set my own filters. So like if it's from Rick, I want it to mark as important. So I'm going to click that. If my boss sends me an email, I want that to be important. I can set my own filters and do it that way. So does that help answer your question?
Yes, I was wondering about that because I like how it does let you move important on unread, but I feel sometimes that I don't want to allow Google to kind of take control of my email, move stuff around. I kind of want to set which ones I want to be important. So yeah, that is super helpful.
Okay. Other questions? That's a great question.
What is the setting, Darcy, when you read an email, it goes away?
So if we go to, you want it to be deleted or?
Well, like right now, my email is set up where once it's read, it disappears.
Or does it go to archives?
Yeah, it might go to archives, which show send and archive.
Where is archives?
I don't know. That's a great question.
I found it one time and then I thought I was going to lose, like it had really important stuff like my mom who's passed away and had some really cool stuff I didn't want to lose. So I made sure I didn't dump it. But there's like another mystery file over there and I just have to be really careful.
That's a really good question. Missy, so when you read it, it goes away, you can't find it? Or does it go into a filter?
My tech guy set it up for once I read it, it goes away and then I can search it and find it, but it leaves your
inbox.
Yeah, it leaves my inbox.
Unread, everything else. You could say hide section when empty.
Hide section empty.
I wonder
Okay.
if that's
Okay.
that may be it.
Okay. And then my email is set up like social and then spam too. So spam is supposed to go into.
Yep. So like I have a spam folder over here.
So,
In
but
my personal email, it looks a little different. And the spam is at the top. There's a,
okay. Mine is social, promotional, and then spam.
Right.
and that may be a setting that the district sets up that way that they
Oh,
configure
okay.
it. So yeah, so primary social promotion.
Oh, yeah.
Does that look
Yep.
like, okay.
Yep. That's what, and so that's your work, or that's your personal that you just pulled up, Darcy, that you
Yep.
have it like that, but you don't have your work like that.
And yeah, and that's maybe one of the things that within a district or within an agency, sometimes they have things set up the way that they want it
Okay,
rather than how you want it.
I see. Okay.
My
Okay.
other emails all look more like this. However, my work email looks like that, and the spam and the trash is over here.
Right.
So good question.
And then I see, because I have a lot of DocuSigns as well. So how did you organize that?
So when I see a DocuSign come in,
Uh-huh.
it automatically stores it in that DocuSign. Like if it sees DocuSign, it'll
Yeah.
store it in that folder.
Okay, so you created a folder of DocuSigns.
Yep. So if I create compose and actually I'm going to go here and see all settings, labels. I can create a new label. You see that there's all
Oh.
of those. I can go down here. Look, I have a Walloop.
So your label, it has to say those words in that, and it pulls it because it says DocuSign document,
Yes.
and it pulls it over there because of that.
When it's done being read.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. All right. All right.
Juliana, what part did you, I see that you like, did my answer get, miss my answer to the question?
Yeah, I typed something in and then immediately my internet just wiped me out. I was wondering, is there any way to do like a receipt or anything, something that lets you know that the receiver has gotten the email and read it?
Yes. So if I go to compose, I can look at my options, request read receipt. So that, again, those three dots, anytime you see those three dots, click on them to see what other options there are. You will find that that shows a lot of different things. So yeah, your request read receipt is right there. And if I wanted to add a label, let me see if I wanted to add a label to this because I'm sending it and I wanted to say, okay, this is a Walloop email. I could add a label to that before I send it as well. So I can label outgoing emails and I can label incoming emails.
And then once it got sent, if I replied to you from Walloop, it will go on the Walloop label.
Yep, it'll come in as an unread, but it'll have the Walloop label. And then as soon as I read it, it'll store it in that Walloop file.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that makes it easier to, like if I have a document with, that has a contract or something, I want it to go in, here's some POs. I want it to go here rather than in my other email. When I clear out my inbox, it's not gonna accidentally remove something I don't want to. So if I really want to keep it, I put a label on it and put it in one of these files. Because every so once in a while I get a wild hair and I decide to clear out my email, the entire thing, and I'm like, oh, what did I just do?
So I just want to make sure I understand. So if you're sending me Missy in Walloop and you want it to eventually go in the Walloop file folder, you will label it.
Yep. So I'm going to go over here. See, it's got your email. I'm going to go label. and I'm going to click Waluk. And it's going to go ahead and keep that there. So then when
Okay.
it's got there, so label as Waluk, test, and I'm going to click send. Now, if I go over to Waluk, there's that conversation that I just sent you.
Cool. Okay.
And I can label them after the fact too. So I can go in here and
Okay.
I could label different things for different purposes.
That's awesome. So basically that saves you from going back and dragging things into the file,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And, you know, like I said, there's every once in a while I get initiative and I click all and delete my entire inbox because I don't want to see 10,000 emails.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it won't delete those particular pieces if they're in a folder.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Okay. Thank you.
So any other questions? And again, you're going to have, so let me pull up what you're going to see before too long. In the Canvas course, you're going to see a Google certification choice board. And for each of the applications, I've created a scenario that you can practice with. That so you can get used to, okay, this is what a scenario might look like. Now in the test, they may combine a couple of different applications, like they may say do this in Drive and this in Slides. And I tried to separate it a little bit so that you could just practice with different applications. But okay, it's taken a little bit. We're going a little slow today. So here's the scenario. So I could click on classroom and it'd take me to a classroom. It'll tell you to create a new classroom, create an announcement. It'll give you the text, just like the scenarios would when you take the test. So practice the copy and paste, how to tell you what to do with it with the assignments, give you a YouTube video to upload. And then down here in the corner is a video that explains the whole thing as well. So you can see, practice those, and then you have the actual scenario that will show you how to actually do something if you have a question on it. So you'll see those and if you click on the house, it'll take you back to the home screen. But you will have scenarios for all 15 of these applications to practice on before you take the test.
And you said they'll be on our thing soon, or they are now?
They are not on there now. We are still finishing up some of the videos. Screencastify was being a little bit funky today and not loading the videos in the format that we wanted it. But when they are there, you will find them in the additional resources section that's down at the bottom. Now I'm wondering if Ethan is going to call us back. So I'm seeing that it's 4:25. So those resources will be right here in those additional resources. So that is something that I would practice those before you take the test. The multiple choice, the fundamentals trainings, that's a lot like what you're going to see on the multiple choice questions. And the scenarios are a lot like what you're going to see in that second part of the test. I am going to go ahead and let's go ahead and leave this breakout room, go back to the main room, because I think we've got about 4 minutes left and I think Ethan's going to close us up. Okay.
Thanks, Darcy. That was
Please
helpful.
don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions at all.
Thank you.
Thank you.